Welcome everyone to Raw Dog Game Reviews. I'm the Raw Dog, and this is what we do here at Raw Dog Game Reviews. I'm going to review a game I recently played. But here's the catch. There's no script and no editing. I'm just going to ramble on my review for the game, off the top of my head, off the cuff if you will. Now that that's out of the way, let's get to it, and let's go in Raw Dog.
Okay, and today we are looking at Strangers of Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins. That name is a mouthful, and I am not going to say that every time. I'm going to call it Strangers of Paradise from now on. And I think that's okay. I think most people online do that. So yes, Strangers of Paradise. I like it, kind of, mostly. I would say I like it for 80% of the game, maybe 70%. And the other 30% of the game is just not fun. I didn't like it. It's a Souls-like. If you don't know what that term means, then I'm sorry. You don't play Souls games, and then I don't respect you. I'm sorry. I'm joking. I might respect you. But yeah, you should play Souls games. Souls games are beautiful. They're awesome. They're fun. And if you haven't at least tried one, then you should at least try it. But anyway, the point of the matter is, it's a Souls-like. It's a Souls-like made by Team Ninja, which usually makes good Souls-likes. I love the Neo series. It's my favorite Souls-like. It's actually my favorite Souls game, period. I like it more than the Souls series themselves. And I'm big into Souls. I played through Demon Souls. I played through Dark Souls. I played through Elden Ring. I've played through a bunch of Souls-likes. So, yeah. I'm not going to say I'm a beautifully amazing Souls-like person and crush these games. No, I get beat up a lot. But I do like these games. I do enjoy them. And I do try to beat most of the bosses, if not all of the bosses. And I try to have a good fun time with them. Anyway, so let's get into this. Strangers of Paradise. Like I said, I kind of like this game. It's weird. It's really weird. It's really strange. We're going to make that joke because it's a Strangers of Paradise. It's really strange. Also, speaking of that, I hope you like the joke of my dog saying chaos, because that is the giant meme of this game. Chaos, chaos, chaos. Yeah, it's funny. The story sucks. Anyway, so Strangers of Paradise. The game is good, kind of. It's good. It's a fun game. It's a good Souls-like. The controls are pretty good. If you're looking for a standard Souls-like that feels good and has magic and you want to have a flair of Final Fantasy, then yeah, this is what you ask for. But it's also not the best version that it could be. It's not great. It could be a lot better. And because of that, it's weird. So, yeah, let's just get into it. The graphics. Oh, baby, the graphics look good. The graphics are beautiful. By far, beautiful. I mean, that is probably the greatest part of this game is how good it looks. The characters look great. Their hair looks awesome, which is a big point for me. I think it's really weird when hair looks blocky. You'll hear me say that in other reviews. I just think it's really weird. I like hair to actually look like hair. But yeah, obviously that's a newer thing in games. Hair did not look like hair in the old days either. But I feel like as we get closer to better graphics and better realistic graphics, the closer we get to having realistic looking hair, which is awesome. It just adds the flair. I judge a game's graphics, not always, but sometimes by how good the hair looks. Yeah, it's funny. Anyway, it's weird. It's strange. Strange to Paradise. I'm going to keep making that joke. I hope it hits. I hope it catches on. Anyway, so yes, the game looks beautiful. All of the characters look really good. Character 1 looks good. Character 2 looks good. I forgot their names. It's because they're forgettable. They're honestly all forgettable. The main character is just, dude 1, dude 2, dude 3, girl 1, girl 2. They're all just ridiculously forgettable. So let's jump into that. No, let's talk about graphics for a little bit longer. The levels look stunning. They look really good. They just look really nice and clean and beautiful. The enemies look really well done. Although I will have to say sometimes they kind of look like they blend into the background, and it kind of makes things hard to work with in some areas. But, I mean, that's just camouflage. That's how colors work. So I don't really put that against the game. I don't want the enemies to have, bold outlines and look weird. That would look really awkward in this style of game, since it's actually looking for a realistic, view of it. So, yeah, the game just looks beautiful. The hair looks good. The characters look good. The bodies look perfect. I mean, The game just looks really good. The armors look really nice. The weapons look really nice. The whole game just looks good. Let's just leave it at that. The game just looks good. I don't like to talk about graphics too much because it's not really my area of expertise. I will just say if the game looks good. And yes, it looks good. Anyway, yeah, the gameplay. Oh, actually, I should go to the story first. Let's go to the story first. Let's have fun with the story. The story is garbage. No, it's not garbage. It's fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It doesn't try to. They talk about chaos a lot. It tries to be a mashup of a whole bunch of different Final Fantasies from the Final Fantasy Origin area, which I guess is trying to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I don't think it gets up to 7. Maybe it doesn't get up to 6, but it definitely goes up to like 4 or 5. Honestly, at some point, I kind of couldn't tell. It's weird. And yeah, also, I should note now that I did not do the DLC. I just decided not to. And I'm not going to go back for it. I put money into the DLC, and I'm just not going to play the DLC because I didn't enjoy the game enough to actually play the DLC. Because also the DLC requires you to go on the hardest difficulty, which the hardest difficulty isn't actually a difficulty per se, at least not in my opinion. What it does is it just makes the enemies have a whole lot more HP, so they're just giant blocks of HP, and just makes you hit them more. That's it. It doesn't add any more skill to it. It just makes them have more HP and do more damage. That's it. So you also need to have more HP and do more damage. And besides that, you can just rinse and repeat the rest of the game. So that didn't feel interesting to me. So yeah, I wasn't gonna bother playing the DLC. But anyway, yeah, the game itself is good enough to have fun with. I really liked the whole way that you could do combos that had like cool, I guess, kind of like finishing moves in the combos. Kind of like a Dynasty Warriors idea, where you could you had basically a 4-hit combo, and in that 4-hit combo you could hit the special button and do like a big cool attack in your combo that did more damage and more piercing to their armor, or I guess to their stance. I guess I'm gonna call it poise just to use Souls terms. To do more damage to their poise, and then you could do these cool moves where you like crystallize the enemy and broke them into pieces, which gives you more magic power, and that's really cool. That is really cool. It's really flashy and really cool. Honestly, that's probably the best part of the game, is that when you break the enemy's poise, you can do these really cool flashy moves that turn them into crystals, and just make it look really cool when you kill them. And that has to be the biggest coolest part of the game. Anyway, to get back to the story, yeah, the story's good. It's okay. Like I said, it doesn't really stand out. It's pretty basic. It's just, it tries to redo some areas of Final Fantasy games like 1 and 2 and 3, but it doesn't really focus on them. It kind of just says that you're fighting chaos and that you're looking for chaos and that you want to defeat chaos. And yeah, that's the joke, because all you say is chaos. You want to fight chaos. And yeah, that's basically it. Your characters that don't actually know who they are, their memory gets erased constantly. They have to just keep reliving the cycle, and the world itself is in cycles, and they have to just keep reliving the cycle, keep redoing the cycle again and again and again and again and again. And that's it. The game just keeps cycling, and that's it. That's the entire game. Go fight chaos. Cycle, complete, done. Redo it. So go fight chaos. Cycle, complete, done. Do it again. That's the game. And the plot line is literally that. And at the end of the game, you kind of figure out that there is a cycle, and the main character wants to stop the cycle. So he tries his hardest to actually keep his memory this time, and tries to go back and actually stop the cycle from happening again. And you kind of succeed, you kind of don't. And yeah, that's it. That's the entire game. And that's it. But that's also the problem with the game. The game gives you team members. You have 2 team members throughout the game that go with you in each combat. It does not matter which ones you take. You can take either of the girls, or you could take either of the guys. You can take any combination of them. It doesn't actually change the gameplay, because the characters don't actually specialize. Oh, they kind of specialize, but not really. Like I said, they're forgettable. They're really forgettable. They can all specialize in the same kind of things. Like, if you want to take the skinny guy, you could make him into a heavy hitting brawler if you want to. It doesn't really actually change. They have technically types that they fit better into, that can fit your playstyle better, kind of, but not enough that it actually matters. And their AI sucks, so it doesn't really matter. That's probably the biggest problem of this game is that their AI sucks, and the game makes you make them with you all the time, and it just doesn't work well. Their AI just sucks, and the game because of that, the game kind of functions that you will have teammates. But anyway, to get to the gameplay of it, to get to the problem of it, the biggest problem of the game is that you have all the combat just feels empty. It feels like you're attacking voids, and that's probably the biggest problem. Because you're attacking voids, it doesn't feel like your attacks have any weight. All of the enemies never stagger from any of your attacks until you destroy their poise meter. Then they get this big stagger where they kind of just sit there for a while, and you hit the button, and you get to do this cool finisher on them. That's cool. It's really cool. But because they don't stagger otherwise, it makes all of your attacks feel weightless. And that really takes away from the combat of the game. It takes away from the feel of it. Now, I understand having super armor and things like that, and bosses should have super armor and things like that. Yeah, it adds to the challenge of the game. But every single enemy, that's kind of silly. And having infinite super armor, not just for like one attack or two attacks, always, never staggering. No matter how hard you hit them, no matter how many times you hit them, they just don't stagger until they get that big stagger. That just feels awkward and feels bad. So that's a big problem in my opinion. And but your characters stagger all the time. If you get hit at all, if you get touched at all, you stagger. So in comparison, you get staggered so easily, and the enemies just don't get staggered. So it feels really unbalanced, and it feels like you're just swiping at a void all the time. And it makes it kind of hard to gauge when you want to dodge and when you're supposed to dodge, and what you can dodge and what you don't have to dodge, because you have no ability to strong arm through enemies, and they will always strong arm through you, so you can't really plan your combos and things like that. You kind of have to live with it. And that kind of bugs me. And it makes the gameplay really just not that great. And that's one of the problems I had with the game. And that's definitely why I say I mostly dislike this game. I guess I really shouldn't say it. Most of the game was fun. The other problem I had with the game was the level up. The level ups are really bad. Yeah, I'm talking about gameplay now. I was talking about story, but the story was already done. Yeah, I'm talking gameplay now. So yeah, the level up is really dumb. You can only get up to level 30. Ever. You get up to level 30 in your job, and you can switch jobs to the next job. It doesn't matter. You will never get higher than level 30. You can switch out jobs for other jobs, and you can change your job class, change your jobs like Final Fantasy 1, and you can have a whole bunch of different jobs. And that's kind of... It would be good if your jobs mattered. And what I mean by that is if you're... Once you pick a job, and once you have that job on you, that is your job. What I mean by that is you don't get to carry over any of your skills or any of your stat boosts from your other jobs. All the other stat boosts and all the other things come from your armor. And your armor has jobs assigned to them as affinity. And if your affinity is high enough, you get to have boosts to your stats that go along with that job. So, but that's really weird. Basically, you get to have other job, powers from your armor, not from leveling with those jobs. And because of that, it feels like leveling doesn't really matter as much. And that's where I think the game really falls short. Is leveling doesn't really matter. Once you reach level 30, it no longer matters. It just honestly no longer matters. You don't need to level up anymore. And then you can just switch jobs. I ended up just switching jobs a lot because I wanted to get every job up to level 30, and I wanted to get every skill at every job just because I can. Literally just because I can. Not because it was required, not because it was a trophy, just because I can. And I wanted to know if some skills carried over or some attributes carried over. They don't. It's honestly just bad. There should have been a point where, yes, your job levels up and you're cool in that job, but your character also has a level up for themselves, and your stats go up with your character levels like a standard Souls-like JRPG. Or not JRPG, it's like a standard Souls-like game where you could actually have a level that mattered. And then yes, the gear. The gear is so dumb. The gear is so ridiculously overpopulated. Now, I said I like Nioh. I love Neo. Neo is beautiful. I think Neo does it well, where it's a loot fest, like in a Diablo or like in a Borderlands, but if you pick the right gear and you level it up correctly and you assign through the smithy and you do things correctly, you can take that gear with you for almost the entire game. You almost don't have to change your gear practically ever. Yeah, you have to like refine it and make it stronger, but you basically don't have to change your gear constantly. But in Stranger of Paradise, yes, change your gear constantly. I mean like every 5 minutes. I don't mean like every level. I mean literally every 5 minutes. You're getting so much gear all the time through every enemy's drop and yes, you should change your gear every 5 minutes. And it gets to the point where you're not deciding what gear you want anymore. You're just hitting the optimize button, or at least that's what I did. Because for the first like couple hours of the game, I was sitting there thinking like, oh, what gear goes best? What affinities can I have go together really well? Blah blah blah, and trying to decide, make my character cool. But then I realized this is taking a lot of time, and I have to do this a lot, like almost every level, almost every 5 minutes. This is ridiculous. So I started hitting optimize, and then just worked around it. And yeah, that's what you should do, and it works. Every time, like every 5-10 minutes, just go into your battle screen, go to your character's equipment, and hit optimize. And there you go. There's your new loadout for the next 5-10 minutes. It's just dumb. It's just dumb how often you have to reload out your characters and how often you have to change your weapon, to change your armors all the time. In fact, you have to change them so frequently that it's not even worth visiting the smithy ever. Never upgrade your gear. Never go to the smithy. Never bother, because you're going to change that gear out in the next 5 minutes. The smithy shouldn't even be an option. It's so dumb. And the menu screen is so dumb. It's like they wanted to have cutscenes, but they decided not to have cutscenes. They just had to have the characters stand there and talk to each other. And it just looks dumb. It's just... The menu screen talking, I just started skipping it. It's just dumb. The game itself is just... It's like I said, it's like 70% good and 30% bad. Actually, maybe even more bad. Once you get deeper into the game, you start getting into enemies that really do, just like I said, feel like HP sponges because they don't stagger at all. And you stagger constantly, so you're trying to find ways to get some hits in, but the hits don't actually feel like hits because they don't stagger at all. Your hits feel like they have no weight to them. And then, when you get hit, it feels like all of your power was taken out of you in an instant because you stagger so tremendously. And then when you get to the pure end of the game, the rest of your party is stripped from you, or they just die. So you basically have to fight these enemies alone. And the whole part of the game that made it livable was that you had teammates to take some of that attention off of you. And that you could help with that whole stagger effect, help with that whole weightless attacking. It actually helped to have teammates, but then they get stripped away from you all of a sudden, and now you have no teammates, and the game feels like 20 times more difficult because you have no teammates. To where now you're not playing it like a Souls game. Now you're playing it like, okay, enemy has 1, 2, 3 attacks. Cool. I come in, 1/. Cool. Dodge, 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 dodge. 1/. Dodge, 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 dodge. 1/. Dodge, dodge, dodge. And it becomes a point where the ending bosses of the game take like an hour to beat, or 2 hours even, because you're just sitting there waiting for your opening to take 1/, take 1/, take 1/, and that's it. That's the entire game. That's the entire boss fights. It's just so bad at the end. The game at the end is just bad. It's a slog. Ugh. I was so disappointed. They could have been better by actually making the character have its own levels, making you have your own level ups, giving the enemies some stagger points. The game really suffers at the end. It's just not good at the end. It's so annoying at the end. I can't begin to express it enough. But yeah, I need to get to wrapping this up and closing this up. I think we're starting to get close to almost 30 minutes here. So yeah, I'm gonna start wrapping this up right here, right now. The game is good. It's okay. Well, I should say it's not good. It's okay. It's just okay. If you're a fan of Souls-likes and you're a fan of Final Fantasy and you like big flashy moves, yeah, you can get it. It's fun. I suggest you play the demo. Definitely play the demo. There is a demo, or there was a demo. Play the demo. If you don't like how it feels, don't do it. Because it definitely feels like this forever. You can only get to level 30. You get to switch out the jobs. The jobs don't really get more interesting. The game doesn't really get more interesting. And you don't... It's just... it's not that great. It's a okay Souls-like. Other games do it better. Other games have done it better. Team Ninja has done it better. Nioh is so much better. And yeah, that's basically it. It's okay. If you are into Souls-likes and into them hard, get it. You'll have fun. Kind of. Hopefully you'll have fun. I had fun for a while, but then I didn't have fun. And yeah, it's okay. If it's on sale, you can get it. Don't get it for full price. I did. I regret it. I regret getting it for full price. Get it on sale. You will thank me for being on sale. That's it. The game itself, you will not thank me. It's not great. Yeah, that's all I really want to say.
Okay, well, that was my raw review. Thanks for listening, and if you liked it and want to hear more, you can like and subscribe. But I'll be back here regardless whether you like it or not, with more Raw Dog Gaming Reviews. See you next time. Bye-bye!